Okay, so continuing on with our ruffle, I've just taken my piece of cardboard and I've taken it and I folded the skirt, the bottom of the skirt down once, just like that, and then pressed it, and then I folded it down again on the 1/4 inch and pressed that all the way along, and I've done that to both sides of my skirt. So I'm just going to take that now to the sewing machine, and we're going to just prepare this part of the skirt before we put on any of our ruffles. Okay, so I'm going to just do a very straight stitch right along the edge of my hemline here at the bottom of what will be our skirt. So I should go to the machine and do that now. You've got your skirt laid, your hem done, and it's all nice and laid nicely, we're going to just put in our line for where we're going to place our ruffles onto the bottom of the skirt, and it's going to lay like this. We're going to lay it so that that piece there is going to touch that second row there of stitching just before, then that will be the end of it. So we're not going to put in this bottom piece yet, we're going to put in the next 2 pieces up. So we're going to come up from our line of stitching on that piece, and we are going to put the top of our line there at 2 1/4 inch. So we're going to come along here, mark it up at 2 1/4 from the base of your stitching there, so that you can see that. Okay, and we're just going to make a mark here at 2 1/4. All right, and then you're going to come along, and I can do it on my ruler because it's got that, but you could just mark yours at either end at 2 1/4, following that hem all the way along, and just draw your line on. Sure it's not moving, because I think it moved a tiny bit then. It's better. There we go. And then just bring it along. We'll do that on all of the sides. We'll do that on that side as well. So that's exactly the same. And you can just obviously mark it 2 1/4 here, 2 1/4 here, and then draw a long line across the top like that. I'm just going to do this one and then this one. Let's just make sure that's laying straight across there. 2 1/4 all the way to the end there. Just like that, and then just draw my line across. And this is the line where, this is the piece where we're going to put stitch on the first ruffle. Okay. And then the next ruffle is going to come up again, and I think that one is, let's just check again, I think it's 4 1/4. So the next one is coming up at 4 1/4. So if I put the 4 1/4 on there, like so, going all the way along, following that line along, like that, and my next one will be coming along here, and that's going to be where the very top of the ruffle is. Okay, that's that side, and that's that side, and you only need to do that on one piece of the back, and that's 4 1/4. One piece of the skirt, sorry. The other piece will be the front of your skirt, and that doesn't have any ruffles on it. Put that straight. 4 1/4. There we go, and I'll go a line along there. Okay. There we go. Let's see that one. Open it up, and that should lay nicely together. can't quite see that little bit there, so I'm just going to draw that last little bit back in again. There we go. Right, so what we're going to do now is take our ruffle, which I've got just over here. Okay, so I'm just going to come in now and run the hem across our skirt. I'm going to keep it nice and close to this edge. You can move your needle like that, so it's reasonably a bit more closer to the edge if you prefer to do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to run it through. Back stitch. Okay, I'm just going to run all the way along. So I won't know until I edit it properly, but I think this might be a better way to video it, apart from probably not on this table, because the table is bouncing up and down. It's better on that other table, which we usually sew on. This is more like a unit of the table. It's got all the supplies and drawers and everything underneath it. As you know, this is just my mock-up, the larger size, the one which I'm doing, filming with all the pins and everything and the table stuff, is the actual 2-year-old one. This would be for the 4-year-old, but it's just a mock-up of it, so that I can make sure I've got it right in the right size and everything. So when you come along here, you'll see that there's a line, there's a French seam there. That's just because... So what's happened there? What's happened there? Broken a thread? No. Not quite sure what's happened there. Okay, let's try again. Does it come out here? That's better. Okay. Is that actually working? No. What's going on here? How strange. Let's try again. Sometimes your machine does just strange things. Let's try again. It's definitely not catching there. Something not quite right. Let's have a look. I think what I'll do is, that's definitely not catching at all. How strange. Let's just rethread the spool a moment. Right, let's put that back in again. And then we'll just rethread the machine again, just in case there's something going wrong with the machine. It's the thread, sometimes it jumps out or something. Sometimes they just do these strange things for no reason. I'm just going to have to put down, lift my needle to the highest position. I'm just going to put it back at the centre so that I got the right angle to pop it in to thread it. Yeah, but thread it, rethread it, place that underneath. Oh, pull my thread up first, there we go. It's not catching, let's see. What's going on here? back in. Right, let's try again. Just sometimes the machine has funny things it does, and I think it's a good idea if you can refred it, just to refred it and just go back and do that bit again. We're just going to take those stitches out which we put in there. Don't want those, do we? Just put that on, do a couple of stitches, go back, and I'll just come in a bit and then just check that it's going right. Feels better now. Yeah, that's fine. So why that happened, I don't know, but refreading the machine really helped that, so always try that first. Always try this spool. If you start getting all tangles and things coming out underneath, you can re-spool it, and I'll do a video on how to do that. Long straight piece. If you feel like you need to, you're always welcome to pin this. I always feel because it's been pressed it doesn't really need it, but if you feel like you'd like to, go ahead and do that. Your hair model. Okay. Right, that's the hems done. So we're going to go to the table now. So once you're all marked up on your piece of fabric, what you need to do is to take your ruffle and you're going to make sure that it is going to fit exactly to your piece of fabric. And you want to make sure that all the ruffles are evenly spaced out across your fabric, and that it's all sitting so that you've got your ruffles all the way along, laying nice and flat across your fabric like that. All right, just got a bit of tighten those two up there a bit at the center. That's better. Right, okay, so I'm going to come in now and I'm going to pin this piece to my first line which I've put on with my pencil. I'm just going to come in straight like that and put my pins in so that is touching the very top of my pink line, or whatever colour line that you put in there. Alright, I'm going to come all the way along and pin all the way along. Just to take a few minutes to do that. So just follow on with me doing yours. If you do notice there's a bit where there is not very much ruffles, you can just push it along a little bit from either side just to make sure that that's nicely filled up. Okay, put in as many pins as you want. You might find that it's better to put in lots of pins, or you might find that you don't feel you need it. You don't want it to sort of be going like up and down in between. If you sort of put it there, that could move around, so sort of give yourself about enough space just to make sure that stays sat on that line. There we go. Okay, it just takes a few minutes to get this pinned up incorrectly. Oops. You don't want to push it down too far so that that top of that line goes underneath the fabric. You don't want that bit sort of going under. You want that sitting on top because you want to be able to see that lovely ruffle going along there on that edge. Okay, so just keep going, sitting those bits up like that. That's it. We are going to come in and stitch in the center of this, and we are not going to take those tacking stitches out. They will just stay in there because that just gives a really nice effect. you can put in 1 or you can put in 2 rows of ruffles, whatever you would prefer. I'm going to have 3 on mine. I'm going to have this one here, and I'm going to have that one up there, and then I'm going to have the one on the bottom as well, which goes all the way around the bottom. They look really pretty, give a really nice effect. That middle bit there now, where the join was. There we go, keep going. Just a bit annoying because it's just a bit fiddly and it takes a bit of time. And you stab yourself with the pins like I just did there. Right. Okay, keep going. There we are. Now if you want to, you can just put this in by eye. But I found that this was a better way of doing it. You get a reasonable straight line coming across. It makes it just look a little bit more professional if you can take that extra bit of time. And you could just line this up with the bottom on there like that and say, oh yeah, the sort of stitches come just above the edge, and that's where I'm going to put it. And then just go from there. But I think this is a sort of a little bit more, didn't take very long to draw that line on, so I think that sort of is, it was a little bit easier to get it exactly right. There we go. Okay, keep going. There we are. Next one. Head on to the last bit. So, there's a couple of pins now. 1 and 2. There we go, so that's that one. And I'm just going to stretch this one out, and I'm just going to move it along until I get it so that it's laying the same size. And the reason we're not joining our skirt together first is because we want to do a French seam on the side, which will catch all of this stuff here, all of this here on the edge inside that French seam, and we want to hide all that out of the way, and we want to put these on first whilst it's nice and flat and straight, but we won't put that bottom ruffle on until we've done that French seam. Make sure that's still laying nicely. Just take your time, there's no need to rush with it. This is a little bit longer, this pattern is going to be a longer pattern, and it's going to take longer to sort of fill it out, but it will come out really nicely. It does look beautiful when it's on. Even just with the little one which I just made up as my when I was making my pattern, and you know, my sort of rough copy of it, that one is quite gorgeous. Keep going. It's a bit boring and it takes a long time, but we'll get there. Halfway. We're halfway. Right. This bit out. So that is that little lump where I joined it. There, I'm just going to leave that absolutely flat like that. Join it in and just place it in like that. Put the pin in there, and then we'll carry on with that ruffly bit. You can push that ruffle up nice and tight to the edge of it, and you won't see that. Making sure you're still on that line. I've come up a little bit, no, I am on the line still. Push that in nice and tight, so that's nice and tight to that, and you won't even notice that bit. And then just keep going. Make sure it is even out. If you feel that there's a bit there which looks like it's got a little bit of a gap, just even it out along there. There's not much ruffle there, so I want to move that one along so it's nice and even. Get that nice and even along there a bit. So keeping that on that line. And I'm looking all the time just to check that the top of my fabric is touching that line. Even this piece out a bit. I'm starting to run out of pins. So I just ran out of pins. I'm just going to put a couple pin, another one in there and another one in there. And then what, oh, that's a needle. And then what I'll do is when I come around, is there any pins anywhere? I can't see anything a minute. What I'll do is I'll just come, when I finish doing that bottom row, I'll put the last two pins in there. Like that. So I'm going to take this now to the sewing machine and I'm going to do a stitch. Now you can do 2 rows of stitches on this. You're going to do them exactly on top of your tacking line, okay?